The alien ship nobody wanted became legendary thanks to a human, HFY. The stars stretched endlessly in the void, tiny points of light against the blackness of space. Most of the ships traveling these sectors were sleek, fast, and well-maintained, their crews proud and competent. But in one quiet, distant corner, a station floated lazily among derelict ships, abandoned vessels left behind by alien civilizations. They were ships that no one wanted, ships considered too old, too slow, or too strange to be useful. And among them drifted a ship unlike any other, scarred from countless journeys, its metal hull chipped and dented, and its engines long considered inefficient. The station workers didn't even bother giving it a name. To them, it was just another piece of space junk. Every alien species that came by glanced at it, shook their heads, and moved on. The ship was, by all measures, worthless. That was until a human arrived. Captain Alara Voss stepped onto the station's docking platform, her boots clanging softly against the metal. She was smaller than most alien visitors, but her sharp eyes missed nothing. She had traveled far from Earth's system, guided by instinct, curiosity, and the ever-present human desire to explore what others ignored. When she saw the abandoned ship, her heart skipped. It was not just a pile of scrap. She saw potential, a story waiting to be told, and a challenge that excited her. "Are you serious?" asked a nearby alien merchant, its four eyes blinking in disbelief. "That ship, nobody wants it. It's slow, inefficient, and dangerous." Alara smiled faintly. "Sometimes, what everyone else ignores is exactly what you need," she said, her voice calm but firm. She walked closer to the ship, examining the hull. The dents told stories of past adventures, the patches of metal hinted at repairs done long ago by hands far more desperate than her own. To her, it was beautiful. The alien snorted. "Humans are strange. You see potential where there is none." Alara ignored the comment. She wasn't here for approval, she was here for the ship. "I'll take it," she said simply. The station administrators laughed, shaking their heads. "Take it for what? It won't even reach the next sector without breaking down." "I know," Alara replied. "But I also know I can make it fly." And with that, she began the process. The ship was large but awkward. Its engines were outdated, its navigation systems clunky. Yet Alara could already imagine the possibilities. She walked through the narrow corridors, touching the walls, feeling the vibrations of dormant engines beneath her hands. Every system seemed stubborn, resistant to improvement. Every panel blinked with a history of neglect. Yet in that stubbornness, Alara saw opportunity. "I like a challenge," she murmured to herself, stepping onto the command deck. Dust floated in the air, catching the dim lights from cracked panels. Screens flickered weakly, displaying readings that were inconsistent or incomplete. To any alien technician, it was hopeless. To Alara, it was a puzzle. Her first crew member, a small robot from Earth, rolled up beside her. "Captain, initial scans indicate structural weakness in the port engine. Efficiency is below minimum operational levels." "I know," Alara said again, smiling. "That's why we'll fix it differently. We won't just repair, we'll improve." And so the work began. For days, Alara and her small human crew explored every inch of the ship. They climbed over panels, crawled through maintenance shafts, and carefully removed old, faulty components. Every night, while the station lights dimmed and alien visitors drifted past in indifferent curiosity, Alara studied alien blueprints and schematics, searching for ideas that no one else had considered. "Why do humans insist on doing things their way?" asked an alien engineer who occasionally observed them. Its voice was curious, almost amused. "Because our way works in ways yours doesn't," Alara replied. She didn't elaborate, but she knew the alien didn't understand. It was hard to explain instinct, creativity, and adaptability to a species that followed rules more rigidly than the stars themselves. By the end of the first week, something remarkable had begun to happen. The engines, once sputtering and weak, roared with newfound power. The navigation systems, clunky and slow, began to respond faster than expected, and the ship, once abandoned and mocked, seemed almost alive, as if it had been waiting for someone to recognize its potential. Alara stood on the bridge one evening, gazing out at the vast expanse of stars. She imagined what the ship could do once fully ready. She imagined the places no one had ever reached, the mysteries waiting in the darkness, and the chance to show the galaxy what a human could do with determination and cleverness. Her crew, though small, shared her enthusiasm. Each human had been trained to adapt, to think on their feet, to see opportunities others missed. That combination, she knew, was why the ship was no longer just a pile of abandoned metal. It was a chance for humans to shine. But not everyone was convinced. Aliens continued to pass by the station, glancing at the ship with skepticism or amusement. "That human is wasting their time," one said. "It will never leave this sector in one piece." Alara overheard it, and a slow smile spread across her face. She had learned long ago that alien doubt was just another kind of fuel for humans. Where they saw limitations, she saw possibilities. Where they saw failure, she saw opportunity. The ship seemed to respond to her optimism. When she ran tests on the engines, they hummed steadily. When she reprogrammed the navigation controls, they responded with precision. It was as though the vessel itself knew it had finally found a captain who believed in it. One night, as the station floated in silence, a sudden alert rang through the ship. A small asteroid field was approaching the outer sector of the station, a minor threat but enough to test the ship. Alara moved quickly. "Prepare for maneuvering tests. Let's see what this ship can do." Her crew followed her orders, their hands moving with practiced precision. The ship shuddered as its engines roared to life. Against all expectation, it glided past the incoming rocks with surprising agility. Small pieces of debris scraped the hull, but the vessel held strong. The alien spectators, watching from a distance, were silent. Some even looked impressed, though none would admit it aloud. Alara allowed herself a small laugh. "See, worth every effort." And in that moment the seed of a legend was planted. A human had seen value where others saw none, and the first step of transformation had begun. The abandoned ship, once worthless and ignored, was no longer just metal drifting in space. It was a promise that humans, with their curiosity and ingenuity, could make the impossible possible. The story of this ship was just beginning. And Captain Alara Voss, with her unwavering belief in human potential, was ready to take it farther than anyone had dreamed. Even in that quiet sector, where the stars hung like diamonds in the void, the first whispers of the ship's new life began. Some called it foolish. Some called it impossible, but humans had never been afraid of challenges. And this human, this small figure on the bridge of a ship nobody wanted, was about to change the galaxy's opinion forever. The stars stretched endlessly around them, each one a silent witness to the human crew's work. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge of the once abandoned ship, now alive with humming engines and flickering lights that seemed to glow with renewed energy. The ship, which aliens had dismissed as useless, now responded to her commands with surprising precision. Yet Alara knew this was only the beginning. The real challenge lay ahead, transforming the ship into something no one had imagined possible. Her small human crew moved efficiently through the narrow corridors, each member focused on a task. Some were engineers, tinkering with the engines and adjusting the delicate systems. Others were programmers, deciphering alien codes and translating them into human logic. The aliens who watched from the station could not understand their methods. Humans worked differently. They experimented, they improvised, and they never gave up when things seemed hopeless. Alara walked past a row of consoles, checking each one carefully. "How are the power systems?" she asked. Her engineer, a young human named Milo, looked up with a grin. Better than expected, Captain. The alien design was messy, but I've rerouted the main conduits. Efficiency is up 20%. Alara nodded. Good, but we can do more. I want this ship faster, smarter, and stronger than anyone expects. Remember, aliens never believed in it. That's our advantage. We think differently. The first major test came sooner than expected. A group of alien traders approached the station in sleek, advanced ships. They laughed when they saw the human crew aboard the old vessel. One alien, tall and thin with shimmering scales, called out, "That ship! You'll never leave the station alive. Even a basic asteroid field would tear it apart." Alara smiled faintly. "We'll see about that." The traders left, shaking their heads, but their mocking words lit a fire in the human crew. They worked faster, thinking of ways to improve maneuvering, shields, and sensors. Every system became a puzzle, and every puzzle was a challenge to be solved. Days turned into weeks. The ship's engines were rebuilt with new fuel systems, allowing longer and faster travel. Its hull was reinforced using a combination of human engineering and recovered alien materials. The navigation computers, once slow and unpredictable, now responded instantly to commands. The ship was no longer a relic, it was becoming a marvel. Yet the crew faced one major problem. Alien technology was unlike anything humans had designed. Some systems were incompatible with human methods. Wires didn't match, signals were unintelligible, and some alien designs seemed deliberately confusing. Alara spent long nights in the control room, studying schematics and diagrams. "It's strange," she murmured to herself. "The aliens built it to work, but in ways that limit potential. We need to free it from their rules." Milo leaned over her shoulder. "You really think humans can do it?" Alara's eyes sparkled. "We don't just think we can, we will. That's what makes us human. We see opportunity where others see walls." The first trial of their improvements came unexpectedly. A small asteroid field, larger than anything the station's sensors had detected before, drifted toward them. The station staff watched in alarm as the human crew prepared the ship. "Captain, shields at 30%, reported a crew member. "We won't survive a direct hit." Alara studied the field, then smiled. "We won't take a direct hit. Engines, evasive patterns alpha and beta. Follow my lead." The ship shuddered as the engines roared, and it dove into the asteroid field. Meteors scraped past the hull, but the ship moved with an agility no one thought possible. Milo adjusted thrusters in real time, while the human programmers rerouted power to reinforce weak shields. Outside, observers gasped. The ship twisted, turned, and weaved through the floating rocks like a living creature. By the time it emerged on the other side, dust and small debris littered its hull, but the ship was unharmed. Even the skeptical aliens had to admit they were impressed, though none would say so aloud. Alara laughed quietly on the bridge. "See, told you." The ship's crew cheered, not with arrogance but with pride. They had taken something useless and made it perform miracles, and for the humans it was more than a victory, it was a statement. The next step was exploring new systems. Alara wanted to push the ship further than any human or alien had ever gone. She planned a journey into uncharted space where navigation was uncertain and hazards were many. "Captain, are you sure?" asked Milo. "We don't know what's out there. No map, no sensor data." "That's the point," Alara replied. "Humans thrive where others fear. We'll find a path no one else can. That's what makes this ship ours." The ship moved beyond the station's boundaries into the unknown. Stars stretched like diamonds, and nebulae painted the void with colors the crew had only seen in simulation. Every system was tested. Communication relays struggled with strange cosmic interference, engines were pushed to limits, and the hull faced radiation storms. But the ship, guided by human ingenuity, adapted. Systems were modified on the fly. Shields were adjusted to reflect unexpected energy patterns. Thrusters were recalibrated for zero-gravity maneuvers. For days, the ship sailed through uncharted space. Aliens back at the station whispered about the human and their impossible vessel. "It cannot survive out there," one said. "It is doomed." Alara, listening to the stars and the hum of the engines, did not hear them. She only saw possibilities. The first real danger came when a rogue comet, massive and unpredictable, crossed their path. Sensors registered it too late for a conventional avoidance maneuver. "Captain, collision course," shouted a crew member. "We can't get out of the way." Alara's hands flew over the controls. "Trust the ship. Trust yourselves. Divert all power to engines, shields, and thrusters. Milo, execute the new evasive algorithm." The ship groaned and shook violently as thrusters fired in impossible patterns. The comet's tail passed so close that debris scraped the hull, but the vessel twisted, rolled, and somehow passed safely. The crew cheered, hugging each other, their laughter echoing in the corridors. Outside, the stars seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging the human triumph. Alara stood on the bridge, staring at the damage. "Not perfect yet," she said, smiling. "But nothing is impossible." Word of the human ship began to spread. In nearby sectors, alien traders and explorers told stories of a vessel that moved with strange, almost intelligent precision. They spoke of a small human crew who had taken a useless ship and made it legendary in ways they could not understand. Some called it foolish, others called it dangerous, but all were intrigued. Alara did not seek fame. She sought discovery, challenge, and progress. She wanted to show that humans could achieve what others thought impossible, not through sheer force, but through creativity, adaptability, and courage. The ship itself seemed to respond to the human spirit aboard it. Systems adjusted almost instinctively to commands, engines pulsed with renewed energy, and sensors seemed to anticipate obstacles before they arrived. It was no longer a ship designed by aliens. It was a ship shaped by human hands and human minds. Weeks passed, and the human crew grew more confident. They explored asteroid belts, navigated radiation storms, and mapped regions of space previously unknown. Every challenge strengthened their bond with the ship. The once abandoned vessel, which had drifted aimlessly for years, now had a purpose. It was alive with human ingenuity. One evening, Alara gathered her crew on the bridge. The stars stretched endlessly before them, a tapestry of light and shadow. "Look at this," she said. "Every star, every planet, every asteroid is a challenge, and we are ready. This ship, it's ours, and together we can go farther than anyone imagines." The crew nodded, pride and determination shining in their eyes. They had taken a ship that no one wanted, fixed what others thought broken, and transformed it into a vessel that could travel where no one else dared. But as they ventured deeper into uncharted space, new challenges awaited: unknown phenomena, strange gravitational anomalies, and alien forces that had never seen humans before. Alara knew the road ahead would test them like never before. Yet humans had a way of thriving where others feared. Where aliens saw limits, humans saw possibilities. Where others gave up, humans pressed forward. And the ship, the legendary ship that nobody had wanted, was ready. The ship moved silently through the uncharted expanse, its engines humming with steady power. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the endless field of stars ahead. For weeks, her human crew had pushed the vessel beyond its limits, navigating unknown hazards, surviving cosmic storms, and mapping regions that had never been charted. Yet the real test was still to come. Reports from distant sectors hinted at a massive, unstable spatial anomaly, an area of warped gravity and swirling energy. Any conventional ship that entered it would be torn apart. Yet Alara saw it not as a threat, but as an opportunity. Humans had always thrived where others feared. The anomaly was exactly the kind of challenge the ship, now shaped by human ingenuity, was ready for. "Prepare the ship," Alara ordered. "We are going where no one has gone before." Her crew worked quickly. Shields were reinforced, thrusters recalibrated, navigation systems optimized. Every component of the ship hummed in harmony with the humans aboard it. The alien technology, once rigid and frustrating, had been transformed into something adaptable, intelligent, almost alive. As they approached the anomaly, the void around them shimmered with strange light. Space itself seemed to twist and stretch. Sensors went wild, unable to predict gravitational shifts or energy surges. "Captain, readings are unstable," reported Milo, her young engineer. "This field, it's beyond anything in the charts. Even our modified systems are struggling." Alara's gaze did not waver. "Struggle means we're doing something right," she said calmly. "Adjust power to stabilizers. Keep shields at maximum. Trust the ship." The vessel groaned as it entered the anomaly. Stars stretched into streaks of light, and waves of energy rippled across the hull. The ship's engines roared, and every human on board felt the tension in their bones. Yet Alara's steady hands guided them, her instincts sharp and precise. She did not panic. Humans thrived in uncertainty. The anomaly tried to pull them apart. Gravity surged, threatening to crush the hull. Energy spikes sent alarms blaring. Yet the ship, shaped by human creativity and perseverance, adapted in ways the alien designers could never have imagined. Systems rerouted themselves automatically. Shields absorbed energy surges instead of failing. Thrusters responded with impossible speed, twisting the vessel through the chaos. The crew held their breath as the ship spiraled through the anomaly. Meteors and debris, pulled in by distorted gravity, battered the hull. Yet every challenge was met with human ingenuity. Milo rerouted auxiliary engines to counter sudden spins. Another crew member manually adjusted power grids to keep shields stable, and Alara, at the helm, guided them like a master dancer navigating a storm. After what felt like hours, the ship emerged from the anomaly. Silence fell over the bridge. Outside, the stars returned to their familiar positions and the void seemed calm once more. "We made it," whispered one crew member, barely believing it. Alara allowed herself a small smile. "We did more than make it. We thrived. And now the galaxy will know." The ship's performance had exceeded expectations in ways that no alien engineer could have imagined. News of the human vessel began to spread rapidly across sectors. Traders, explorers, and even warships from distant civilizations reported the impossible. A ship once abandoned, once mocked, now moving with unmatched agility, surviving the most dangerous phenomena and guided by humans who defied all limits. The aliens who had originally dismissed the vessel were forced to acknowledge its power, though some did so grudgingly. Many tried to follow it, hoping to learn its secrets. But the human crew, bound by creativity and intuition, had made the ship unpredictable. It was no longer just a vessel, it was a symbol. The human crew celebrated quietly, not with arrogance but with pride. They had taken a ship that no one wanted and transformed it into something legendary. Every twist of the hull, every rerouted circuit, every improvised maneuver reflected their intelligence, courage, and adaptability. Alara gathered them on the bridge. "We've done something incredible," she said. "This ship was abandoned, ignored, even laughed at. But we saw potential. We worked together, thought differently, and turned the impossible into reality. Remember this moment. This is why humans thrive." The crew nodded. They had learned a powerful truth. It was not strength alone that made a species extraordinary, but ingenuity, resilience, and courage in the face of impossible odds. Their fame continued to grow. Across multiple sectors, the ship became known as the human miracle, a vessel that could survive anomalies, outrun threats, and navigate space in ways no one thought possible. Aliens came to study it, trying to reverse engineer its systems. But human creativity was not something that could be copied so easily. The modifications, the clever rerouting of systems, the instinctive decisions, these were uniquely human. Even those who had mocked Alara at the beginning were now forced to respect her. Some offered alliances, some sought guidance, and some simply watched in awe. The abandoned ship had become a legend, and the human who believed in it had become a symbol of what humans could achieve when others doubted them. Yet, Alara remained humble. She understood that the ship's success was not just her own. Every human on board had contributed, every calculated risk had mattered, and the lessons of persistence and creativity would guide them in the challenges yet to come. One day, as they sailed past a distant nebula glowing in vibrant colors, the ship's sensors detected another anomaly, this one even larger and more dangerous than the last. Some humans might have hesitated. Some alien captains would have turned back, but not Alara. "This is our next challenge," she said, a spark of excitement in her eyes, "and we will face it together. This ship has been abandoned before, but humans never leave things unfinished. We will show the galaxy once more what we can do." The crew prepared eagerly. Every system had been tested, every strategy considered. They had faced danger, chaos, and doubt, and they had emerged stronger each time. This was more than a ship. It was a symbol of human potential, ingenuity, and courage. As they entered the anomaly, twisting through streams of energy and dodging floating debris, Alara reflected on how far they had come. The ship had once been worthless, forgotten in a quiet corner of space. Now it moved with unmatched grace, guided by humans who refused to accept limits. It was proof that humans could turn failure into triumph, danger into opportunity, and the impossible into legend. The ship's engines roared as it surged forward, cutting through the chaos. Every challenge was met with precision and creativity. The crew's hands moved in perfect harmony with the vessel, and as they emerged on the other side, safe and triumphant, a feeling of quiet awe filled the bridge. Alara smiled, looking at her crew. "We did it. We turned the impossible into reality. This is what humans do. This is who we are." The stars stretched endlessly before them, a vast expanse of possibilities waiting to be explored, and the abandoned ship, once scorned and ignored, now shone as a legend across the galaxy. It was a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and determination, a story that would inspire generations to come. The human crew had proven one undeniable truth: where others saw limits, humans saw opportunity. Where others saw failure, humans created triumph. And where others saw nothing, humans created legends. The galaxy had watched, doubted, and laughed. And yet, a small human crew and an abandoned ship had rewritten what was possible. Captain Alara Voss looked out at the endless stars. The journey was far from over. There would always be new dangers, new challenges, and new mysteries. But she knew that humans, with their creativity, courage, and unyielding spirit, would continue to thrive. And the ship nobody wanted, would continue to fly, not just as a vessel of metal and circuits, but as a symbol of the human spirit. Legends, she knew, were not born. They were made, and this one had been made by humans.